Hey guys, Cory here. Today we're going to be talking about the nerf that's coming up for the Yetis, the nerf that's coming up for the Royal Champion, and also the fix that they're going to do to try to prevent cheating in Legends League. First thing we're going to take a look at is the fact that Yeti mites will no longer trigger traps. The idea behind that is that way they're not going to trigger the giant bombs, the spring traps, before your Yetis get to them, so that when your Yetis get to them, they can still be blown up, be sprung, that sort of thing. You'll notice that the Yeti's housing space, as you know, is 18. And a level 5 spring trap can spring a spring capacity of up to 18, so a maxed out spring trap can spring one Yeti. My first thought on this was this might not actually be a nerf, because if those traps are killing a lot of Yeti mites that would otherwise take out defenses, this supposed nerf could actually act in the favor of the Yetis, making the Yeti mites more effective and even more deadly than they already are. My second thought when it comes to the Yeti nerf is this is coming a little bit too soon. Very, very, very few people have maxed out bases yet, and base design has already caught up with the Yeti smash, that sort of thing. I mean, a lot of times defending Yeti smash is as simple as having a town hall on the outside of an otherwise well-designed base. So why adjust the Yetis when the bases are not even maxed out yet and base design is already defending them? Especially since it seems like right now, miners and hogs are already stronger than most Yeti attacks, so why nerf the Yeti so soon? Next, we're going to take a look at the Royal Champion nerf. So what they're going to do is move the level 18 cannon hit points up just 10, specifically to prevent the Royal Champion maxed out from being able to one-shot those maxed out cannons with her Seeking Shield ability. So some of you guys might say, Cory, that's not a nerf for the Royal Champion, that's a buff of the cannons. Come on, really. The sole purpose of doing it was to decrease the effectiveness of the Royal Champion. So effectively, it is a Royal Champion nerf. Then at the very end, we're going to talk about the proposed fix to prevent cheating at the top of Legends League. Look at the leaderboards right here. 5 out of the top 6 are all the exact same person. So they've found an exploit. We're going to talk about that and how they're going to fix that at the end of this video. Alright guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of these Yeti smash attacks, and we're going to focus in, we're going to slow it down, we're going to take a look at the Yeti mites as they're popping, see if this change is going to have any effect, either good or bad, or otherwise. And then towards the backside of these attacks, we're also going to be able to take a look at the Royal Champion, how she works, and if the nerf for her is going to have much of an effect as well. Griff starting this one out with a Warden Walk on the right-hand side, but we're really going to focus in on these Yeti mites when it comes down to that point in the attack. King on the bottom left-hand side, cutting in that other side of the funnel, jump leading straight into the base. Now, I have watched this before, and I know there's a couple double giant bombs on either side of this Eagle artillery, so we're going to take a look at these Yeti mites as they come in there. We're going to take a special look, see if those Yeti mites are triggering those traps before they can get to the Yetis, and see if that is going to have, here we're going to actually slow it down right there. Oh my god, this is so hard to see. Now look at that. Yetis came over kind of at the same time as the Yeti mites, or even before, so whether or not the Yeti mites triggered it, those giant bombs were all up on those Yetis, so it's not going to have an effect on this raid. I also been keeping really special attention at those Yeti mites, trying to see if they're triggering any spring traps, if they're getting sprung, and I'm just not seeing any of that. A lot of times they're on the downed buildings where there is no traps available. I've watched 3 different Yeti attacks preparing for this video, and I have not seen a Yeti mite spring a spring trap once. In fact, in the next attack, we're going to see some Yetis that are going to get sprung. So here we go. He's moving through. Now we're going to take a look at the Royal Champion. When this Siege Barracks pops down here, we're going to take a look at that Royal Champion and what is going to happen with that, how big of an effect it would have, because if these cannons were maxed after this proposed change that they're going to be implementing here pretty soon, the Royal Champion ability is no longer going to be able to one-shot those maxed out cannons. I would presume the one-shot is still going to work on the Archer Towers and is still going to work on the Teslas, just not cannons if they are at a max level. So here we go. We got Hogs coming in there. So far, I didn't see anything that would change with the Yeti Mite nerf that's coming in. Anything that would change on that attack. Because whether or not they triggered the bombs, the Yetis triggered them. The Yetis still ate those bombs, so I do not see how that's going to change anything yet. We're waiting for this Royal Champion to get down low on her health. And you know what? There's really no cannons left on the board, so it's not even going to matter on this one. We'll get a better idea of that Royal Champion ability on this next attack. But so far, I don't think the nerf would have affected this attack at all. Not even a little bit. Not the Royal Champion nerf, not the Yeti Might nerf. Let's go take a look at another one though. Alright guys, this one is going to give us some really good information. I must have watched this replay in slow-mo maybe 10 times preparing for this video. We've got a ton. This is a super trolley base, so we got a ton of giant bombs on the outside here, which obviously the Yetis are going to be triggering those before Yeti Mites even have a chance to come out. Got a couple quakes going down, trying to open up that town hall compartment, and then the next compartment just really opening up as much of this base as possible. Not only that, but doing a ton of damage to these buildings in here too. These defenses, the town hall, it's already down to half health. That scatter shot's already down to half health. The expos are down below half health already. So really, those quakes, aside from opening up the base, are going to do some other good things as well. Now, up in here, it gets a little interesting. Look at those Yeti Mites, though. Those Yeti Mites are doing their thing. And right down here, what we had is we actually had a Yeti Mite trigger that giant bomb, but the Yetis were already there. So it didn't matter. They ended up eating that giant bomb anyways. From here, it gets a little bit more interesting. Especially right up in here, we got spring traps in either one of these areas. You're going to see the Yetis going out ahead, but they're not going to go to the spring trap locations. Look at this. We're going to have a Yeti sprung on the left, and a Yeti is going to be sprung on the right as well. Now remember, under this current meta, under this current, state of the game, Yeti Mites are supposed to have triggered those traps. So the way that they path, a lot of times, they're just not going there, so they're not going to trigger those spring traps, is what I'm seeing from this attack right here. Now, we're going to look over on this left-hand side coming up in just a little bit. We're going to see some interesting Yetis coming out here. Look at this. One of these Yetis is going to come out really low health, and he's going to die to that Tesla before he gets there, but the ones behind, here we go. The ones behind are still going to land their shots on that Tesla. Look at that. Boom. So if they die when they're like right next to it, if they're close enough, they're still going to get their damage in on the defense. But if they're far enough away, they can actually be killed by those defenses before reaching it there. Now look at the Royal Champion coming out. We're about to see her ability in action. We do have one of the cannons in her crossfires here. So Royal Champion abilities comes out right now. Boom. One-shots that cannon. Now, under the new meta, if that cannon had been maxed, this cannon would still be up on a sliver of health, but still up and still firing on the Royal Champion. So let's imagine that cannon is still up. If it's going to stop the end of this attack, it might not. I mean, she would be getting fired on right here by a cannon already. Boom, boom, boom. Then she probably would have targeted it and taken it out and then gone to right in here. So, man, she finishes off that multi with just a sliver of health. So, we might even say she might not have got that multi down if that cannon had been maxed and still up. And if she doesn't get that multi down, is this a triple? I don't know. Let's times 4 it. But this one was super close. Honestly, guys, I think if that Royal Champion didn't get that multi-target Inferno down, which would have happened with a max cannon under this new meta, I don't know if this would have been a triple, guys. I think it was just too close. So it is going to have an effect. Not all the times, but definitely sometimes. Here we got a hit by carbon. This one's using 4 P.E.K.K.A.s and only 5 Yetis. So obviously, any proposed nerf to the Yetis is going to affect this attack less than like mass Yeti attacks where you're using 8, 9, 10, or even 12 Yetis. Because P.E.K.K.A.s are not getting any sort of change whatsoever. The less Yetis you bring in, the less of an effect this is going to have on you. But at the same time, from what I've seen so far, I'm not convinced that this nerf is really going to have much of an effect at all for the Yetis, positive or negative. However, the Royal Champion nerf, I think on that last one, would have prevented that 3-star. So I think that is going to be, it's not huge, but it is significant. It's going to turn some very close 3-stars into, 98, 99% 2-star fails. I do believe that. Now we got Yetis coming in. Watch those Yeti Mites. Really interesting mechanics on those Yeti Mites. But one thing I'm not seeing is I'm not really seeing those Yeti Mites going out ahead and triggering traps so that the Yetis do not have to encounter them. They're going straight from the Yetis to the defenses, not necessarily over open areas. Look at that one. We just had a giant bomb right there, but the Yetis were right there. Whether or not the Yeti Mites or the Yetis triggered it, the Yetis certainly ate the giant bomb anyways. So far, that's what I've seen on all these attacks so far. Look at the pathing of those Yeti Mites. They're going straight over, not over open spaces. They're just jumped over that space right there. So even if there was a spring trap there, they weren't going to be sprung by it. But also by taking out that defense and preventing the Yeti from having to path over there too. So yeah, guys, I gotta say, I don't think this Yeti nerf is gonna be much of a nerf. That's my prediction, but I'm glad about that, because like I said at the beginning of this video, base design is already catching up to this, to where miners and hogs are working more often. They're more versatile, 3-starring more bases at Town Hall 13, at least well-designed bases, new meta bases. So I don't think it was really necessary, and of course, you know, hardly anybody has a maxed out base yet. We're still so early in that Town Hall 13 game, but Yeti Nerf, I don't think is going to have that much of an effect from what I've seen studying here. Royal Champion Nerf is going to have a little bit of an effect, definitely. But you know what? That Royal Champion's pretty crazy. She's able to take out an insane amount of the base when you pair her with just a few hogs, so who knows? Maybe that's not a terrible thing in the long run. Last but not least, they plan on fixing the cheating loophole in Legends League. I actually had to search this and research this right before this, just because I'm really ignorant when it comes to this kind of stuff. But apparently they're going to fix ghosting. Now, I remember they fixed ghosting years ago. It used to be possible in clan wars, and so why they're having to fix it again, I'm not 100% sure. I guess if I had to guess, which is what it is, because I don't know my stuff when it comes to electronics in general, specifically not the specifics on this sort of thing, but if I had to guess, I would say that they fixed that as in relation to clan wars, not in relation to looting. And if they're running Legends League off the same framework they normally run looting attacks off of, which, you know, let's face it, looting does not matter as much as clan wars. I don't even think Legends League matters as much as clan wars, but I know that's personal preference. So if they just fixed it in clan wars and they did not fix the ghosting issue in Legends League, which maybe goes off of the looting attack formula, I don't know. I didn't even really know they were separate things, but obviously if they fix it in one place, not in the other, this is super confusing. I'm sorry. I honestly don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but it's good to know that they're going to be fixing this, and they've been making massive changes. The massive change to Legends League to try and make it more skill-based. Now, we just got to get rid of the cheaters, and this really actually could become a very good measure of some of the top players in the world if they can fix all the cheating loopholes. I'm going to re-listen to that and find out if I have to record it or not, because that was a jumbled mess. So in case you couldn't already tell that I didn't know what I was talking about there you have your evidence. Never big on Legends League or in the know on those sort of things. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the cheating in Legends League. Once again, 5 out of the top 6 players in the world, we're on global right now, are all the same person. And is she really that amazing at Clash of Clans that none of the other top players from like the World Championships are in there? I don't think so. I'm not buying it, and I don't think anybody else is either. So what they're saying is that they're going to fix the ghosting issue, and that was surprising to me because I remember hearing that word years and years ago. It used to be possible to do that in clan wars, and they fixed the issue in clan wars, but from what I can guess, just from them saying they're going to fix it again, that was still an issue with looting raids, and obviously with you know, whatever format they used for the Legends attacks, it was obviously still possible. So they're going to be fixing that, and that is amazing. They already made massive changes to Legends League. It just used to be whoever could be on all the time or had account sharing going on to keep getting in attacks and stay with shields. And they've changed it into something where people with amazing amounts of skill can actually climb the ranks by limiting the number of attacks. People who have killer bases are going to get better defenses. So this really could become, once they fix all the cheating issues, this could become a pretty good measure of some of the best players in the world for Clash of Clans. And let's face it, up until now, Legends League has never been that. It just has not. It's been a place where people found loopholes, people cheated to stay on top of the leaderboard. So they managed to get it fixed with this. Then Legends League could become, you know, something that's actually valid for skill levels. That would be absolutely amazing, guys. On the screen right now, you should see links up to I don't know, some other cool videos of mine. Right in the middle, you should see a button to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I'm making new Clash of Clans videos for you every single day. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the next video.